So we're taking a little bit of a different approach this time. Again, kind of like we were talking about a little bit earlier. We were really amped in the last episode, which was awesome because it was well received. But we waited till literally the last minute to do a review of the whiskey, which we kind of wanted to do it a little bit earlier in. So now we're compensating and doing it pretty early. But we went to the Black Button Distillery, and sat down with a someone behind the bar just to talk about the company in itself, and also reading some stuff online. And it was really interesting. I mean, I didn't know this history of Black Button. It was started in Rochester, which I kind of knew, but I actually thought it started in Buffalo at first. And their head distiller, Jason, so he's a fourth generation in the Black Button company. But this company actually started creating buttons, as you would probably assume based on the name.
Got it.
And they would make buttons for very high profile people. So like presidents, kings, popes, like really high profile people.
Yeah, I don't really know if there's a profile higher.
Yeah, really.
So
I mean, the highest profile. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Like my Facebook profile. So with that, the head distiller now, Jason, he was going to get into the business and continue it going forward, but there was an ongoing joke because he was colorblind that the only buttons that he would be able to make are black.
Got it.
So that's where Black Button Distilling came from. And Jason, who's the head distiller, again, he's a pretty young guy. I'm pretty sure he's one of the youngest in the U.S., head distillers in the U.S., which is pretty cool. But also what he did was he studied Prohibition when he was younger, and he tried to get into making beers first. And he didn't like go commercial with it, obviously. He went right into the Black Button Distilling, but he tried to get into the beer making first, and then kind of got away from that and then went right to here. So it's pretty cool.
Makes sense, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I unfortunately couldn't go with you on this trip.
Yeah.
Which that's, it's no fault to anybody really. It's just we're swamped with work.
Right.
So
because we also do have real jobs.
Yeah, we still have real jobs, but it's all good. So for this whiskey, they have actually a really, really nice website that's compatible on all platforms, whether it's mobile or on your computer. Easy layouts. When you click on something, it actually brings you to something else, and it's flowing pretty well, which is nice because sometimes you go to a website and you don't really know what you're going to get into.
Sure.
So that was good job on them for sure. So for their whiskey that we're trying this week, it is 84 proof, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
So it's 60% corn, 20% wheat, 11% melted barley, and 9% rye. They came out with it in 2014, and you can drink it year round. Yeah. There's no specific season for it.
And it's available at all the local liquor stores in the Buffalo area. And I'm assuming, obviously Rochester, because they started there.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming any close nearby liquor stores too.
Nice. And then they're on every major social media platform as well, right? So everyone can go and check them out. So it's Black Button Distilling Co.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah. What's cool with this distillery too, and kind of doing the research on what type of distilleries we wanted to reach out to, I was looking online, and there's a lot of distilleries and spirits. I don't know what they call them. I mean, there would still be distilleries, but just based off of spirits like gin and vodka, there's a lot of distilleries in the Buffalo area, but not a lot of them actually put out some sort of whiskey product. So there's Lake Ward. Just a little shameless quote or plug there, but Lake Ward, and then there's another one too that only did vodka, gin, and I believe rum maybe. So there weren't too many actual places that did whiskey, which was interesting. But Black Button made up for it because they have an extensive whiskey output, and I'm going to read you some of them here.
Okay.
So they have the 4-grain straight bourbon, which is what we're drinking right now. So for those who don't know, and we can also kind of get into a little bit more detail if you'd like, leave a comment, let us know if you want us to get a little more detail into this. But bourbon is whiskey. So think of it as like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle isn't a square, right? Did I say that right? Yeah. So not all rectangles are squares, but all squares are rectangles.
Right.
So all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon, because you have different types of whiskey, which are bourbon whiskeys, rye whiskeys. You have Scotch, which is considered whiskey too, but it just depends on where really you're making it. So we can get into more details in a future episode if we want to, but really what I wanted to touch on here is Black Button's extensive inventory. So the 4-grain straight, again, like we're drinking right now, they have a single barrel straight, a double barrel straight, cask strength straight, collaboration whiskey, Empire Rye, port finish, which is finished in a wine barrel, pre-prohibition style straight, which we gotta try that. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
American straight and a bourbon cream. So it's more of a liqueur than a bourbon.
Nice.
But it's obviously made with bourbon. So they got a very extensive inventory, and you bet your damn ass we're going to try all of them.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to figure out
I don't know
timing.
what that phrase was. What's the damn ass? That just kind of came out.
I'm okay with it. It's not like you did anything wrong.
You bet your damn ass, man.
Love it.
I'll call myself out. No worries. But yeah, so we're going to definitely try all of them. And especially with us still getting our feet under us and trying to reach out to more distilleries, we'll probably have Black Button on again probably sooner rather than later because of their extensive selection.
And they're really responsive.
Yeah, very responsive.
Yeah.